reading for your current energies. As always, please take what works, leave what doesn't. We all know who we are in this story. Now, I sure appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. And if you appreciate what I do here, helping me out, hit that like button. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really makes a difference to my channel, and I would love to see my channel continue to grow. So, grateful, thankful for your messages. For all my Sagittarians, grateful, thankful for the messages, always. All right, first card out for you is the Emperor to the Queen of Cups. All right, I'm feeling a disconnect between you and somebody who, might have the final say. Because here, there is this sense of, you're working on eggshells around someone. All right, this could be you. Maybe people feel that about you, or maybe you're doing that with someone. But I just feel as if this Emperor here, a lot of times when I see this guy show up reversed, he's got a lot of power, a lot of control, and he can misuse it. This could be somebody who, kind of threatens and does that kind of thing. And then, here we have this Queen of Cups coming in reversed. So this is emotionally feeling very unstable. Like I said, I get the energy of like walking on eggshells around this person. Nothing you can do makes this guy happy. So let's see what this is all about. Then we have a Queen of Swords, another person. Oh, we got two women coming up. Look, see, there's something going on between you and someone else, another female possibly. This could be a work situation where, the Emperor knows about what's going on. I just feel arguing. Because when we see this upright, it's a very kind of, engagement with each other, But here, when it's reversed, I have to feel that, this Queen of Swords, this Queen of Cups, I mean, there's some anger, there's some tension. I think, there's some fighting going on between you and someone else. It could be over a business or a company that you guys are involved in. We also have here, the Emperor and the Empress. So we have a solid partnership here as well. So I feel like this is a partnership, all right? It could be more people involved, but right now what I feel is, these two people, these two women, specifically women, are really, having a hard time with each other. Ace of Swords is over here, wanting the truth to come out. So let's take a look at your recent past, right? Because maybe we can start from here. We've got the Hermit coming in reversed. All right, so there's something going on, all right, between you and someone else, whether it's in the workplace or it's a partnership that you guys are, involved with each other. This is, the two of you are really at odds with each other, all right? And I feel as if, there is this need that before you kind of jump the gun, you need to really sit with whatever it is that's going on, because to not do that, I feel you go in and there's almost like this attack, because this person feels like you're coming in, but, they're feeling like they're being attacked. You're trying real hard here to manifest, a good outcome to a situation that probably blew up between the two of you, but they're not reading it that way. So what do we do? What's above you here is the Ace of Wands. It's reversed. And then we have the Ace of Swords. So I feel like there needs to be, this sense of calm, because when the Ace of Wands is present, there's a lot of passion and there's a lot of excitement that's going on. And that could really, escalate the conversations between you and someone else. So I think before you approach them, I think you need to let the calm come in, right? So that, there's not that heat and fire that's fueling, this argument that's blowing up here. And, I don't, and I feel as if, it's a relationship. I don't feel like there's more people here. I feel as if this is a divine relationship, your person, your partner, and things have really blown up. I get misunderstanding, that there's some kind of a misunderstanding. And I think this is why the Hermit is saying, well, if you took the time to really kind of sit back and really look at the big picture, maybe you wouldn't be so upset at what this person may have done or not did. But I feel like one person was out of line, and I think one person, dominated the power and the control without, maybe including the other person. I mean, it could be something like that. But I'm definitely feeling that, at the end of the day, there needs to be this, truth that has to come out in order for things to turn around. And the possibilities of that happening are very, very real here. We have the Magician here at the base of what's going on. I mean, we can find a good outcome. We have this bright yellow energy, about happiness that can show up. And then over here, we have the Three of Cups coming out as final energy here for you. So I feel like, the final outcome, is to like, we all need to, kiss and make up, right? And we do have three people here, so it could be about a third person. Maybe there was just something happened between a third person. But, at the end of the day, we want to get along. We want to be happy. We want to get through this. And we want to start over again, the way we used to be, that kind of passion. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, we got the Sun card coming in, so I feel like, even though things may escalate, all right, Sagittarius, between you and someone, whatever it is, it had to come out, all right? It had to process, it had to, come out. Maybe, one person was taking advantage of their position and their power over the other person. And, and like I said, it got to the point where someone was feeling like they were walking on eggshells. So it had to come out. This had to blow up. Listen, this is divine energy, all right? We have an Emperor and an Empress, all right? This is, meant to be kind of connection. And the fact that it's reversed, and these energies are also reversed, it's just like, we forgot what we're about. So I think it's time to, let it blow, all right? Have the conversation, all right? But have a good conversation. All right, not a one that's really, attacking. I mean, let's take the time to defuel, let the fire simmer down into just some coals where, now, you guys can really kind of, from a calm place, have that conversation that you need to have. Because something angered someone to the point, where it blew up. But, listen, Sun cards at the end of the day, it's a good energy, all right? We just have to find the solution. We have to be honest. I mean, really, there has to be some honesty here, because the Queen of Cups can, hold back information. The Queen of Swords, they can get nasty ugly, and they can be really nitpicky. And then we have the Emperor coming in reverse, that's not a fun energy. We have the Empress also reverse. That's feeling a little insecure. So, yeah, this week, just be calm, whatever comes up in the heat of the moment, just know that when you say it, you can't take it back, so keep that in mind when you're having this conversation with this person, because I see a good outcome. There will be a good outcome, if we can all just stay calm and don't fuel that fire. Let the fire die down first, and then let's look for that happy ending, all right? Because I see it. There's definitely a happy ending here, all right? And I see that, Sagittarius, what makes you happy is when you are with your family, with your friends, and when everybody is getting along, all right? So, if we're about to walk into a situation where nobody's getting along, that bothers you. And I think this is what needs to really kind of erupt. So that's what I've got for you. Please take what works, leave what does not. And yeah. Have a great week. Be happy, be kind, and take care of yourselves, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye now.